Right now, we are inventing all these different technologies with which we could actually make ourselves superhumans with superintelligence.
The potentials are quite extreme. You could eventually have printable noses, ears, lungs, kidneys.
The big question is immortality. Dying, is it something we have to do?
I'm convinced that the engineers at MIT are looking back into the ancient examples of the gods.
You've got to wonder, are extraterrestrials somehow guiding us and manipulating us into this new future and this new human that we are destined to be?
Since the dawn of civilization, mankind has credited its origins to gods and other visitors from the stars. What if it were true? Did extraterrestrial beings really help to shape our history? And if so, might their ultimate plan be revealed with the rise of the next humans? Mountain View, California, August 1962. At NASA's Ames Research Center, the newly formed Division of Biotechnology and Human Research begins a study on the possibility of exploring space with technologically enhanced humans, otherwise known as cyborgs. 10 months later, they release a report called the Cyborg Study, Engineering Man for Space. In it, they propose that astronauts will require artificial organs and pharmaceuticals to survive in the harshest environments of deep space as we explore beyond our solar system. While the program was quickly abandoned due to the lack of available technology, it helped usher in a new era of scientific research focused on augmenting the human species into a new stage of evolution: the transhuman.
Transhumanism is the use of technology by humans to enhance their physical, psychological, and most of all, intellectual capabilities.
We transhumanists want to use science and technology to self-direct our evolution. There are lots of transhumanists now that don't even consider themselves transhuman. For example, people who have pacemakers or cochlear implants or hip replacements. These are technologies that we're using, and that is beyond human.
The idea of there being a transhuman is actually a very old notion. It stems from our longing for immortality. So there were attempts to extend human life.
Transhumanism has been thought of for a very long time throughout mythology. From Gilgamesh's search for immortality, to alchemy, to the search for the fountain of life. Really, the quest to overcome what it means to be human, to see if we can live forever. That has been the quest for a very long time.
If we look at things like prosthetics, which are adding bits of technology on in some way, even the Egyptians in mummies in tombs have been found where they've had a little wooden replication of a toe, where somebody has lost their toe and they've been given this false toe. But it shows that thousands of years ago, transhumanism in some basic form was being thought of.
Although the notion of modifying the body with technology has been around for thousands of years, transhumanists say the 21st century will radically change what it means to be a human. When we begin to genetically engineer an entirely new generation of humans. April 22nd, 2015, Guangzhou, China. Geneticists at the Sun Yat-sen University make history as the first team in the world to genetically modify a human embryo. Using a gene editing technique known as CRISPR-Cas9, the scientists were able to correct the gene defect that causes beta thalassemia, a blood disease, by snipping out and replacing portions of the DNA in the fertilized egg.
By using a new technology called CRISPR, scientists are able to actually cut into the DNA and replace parts of the DNA with genetically modified proteins. This allows us to literally transform who we are.
When we look at DNA changing, it can be used not just to overcome problems, but to improve your looks, maybe change the color of your hair or your eyes, or perhaps even more importantly, change your intellectual or physical abilities.
Will the modification of human embryos soon lead to a wave of what futurists call designer babies? Children whose physical features and mental capabilities were selected by their parents. Many believe that not only is this a possibility, but that the very definition of a parent may soon change as well.
The UK is on its way to becoming the first country to legalize the creation of babies from 3 different people. In a large majority, the House of Commons voted in favor of the controversial 3-parent in vitro fertilization, or TPI-VF.
The British government officially declared it legal, so actual children that have been born that have DNA from 3 different parents.
I think it is quite possible in the future that it won't be just 2 or 3 parents that a child has, but could be any number.
That sounds like science fiction, but it's actually something that Japanese scientists are working on right now. And what that would entail is using an artificial womb and actually gestating the child within that artificial womb. Now, you can imagine if we can get to this stage, it doesn't matter who the parents are. You could have a community of people with the best genes contributing to making that child. And that is really the future that is in front of us.
Is it possible we could synthetically create human beings, picking and choosing genetic traits from any number of donors? Could the characteristics of a person soon be limited only by our imaginations? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest an even more incredible possibility that we are not the first to do this. Luxor, Egypt. Here, in the Deir el-Bahari Mortuary Temple, lies the burial chamber of Hatshepsut, one of the only queens to ever become a pharaoh. And on the frescoed walls of this tomb is a scene portraying Hatshepsut's conception at the hands of divine beings.
On the walls of Queen Hatshepsut's mortuary temple, it says that long time ago, God Eamon came to Hatshepsut's mother, Ahmose, in her sleep, and with the power of God Khnum and with the key of Ankh in his hand, he created baby Hatshepsut. He uses the Ankh, that key-shaped tool, to give life, to create a human.
Any device that can give life upon something would have to appear as magical. So you have to wonder, who are these gods that they were talking about?
What we have in this story is actually the Immaculate Conception of Hatshepsut. And it is clear that this is the story of an extraterrestrial intervention in the creation of a star child, Hatshepsut. So we appear to be dealing with some sort of a technology, a DNA-based technology that can manifest human bodies or alter human DNA.
Could Hatshepsut have been genetically engineered by otherworldly beings? And is it possible that humans are just now starting to unlock the incredible potential hidden within us by our extraterrestrial creators? as ancient astronaut theorists propose. Perhaps further clues can be found in our own attempts, not in creating life, but in reversing death.